With a song in my heart, the story of men and their music, of composers who really had a song in their hearts.
With a song in my heart for you.
When You're Away. What a really lovely melody. Somehow, it could only have been written by one man. And that man was that genius of light music, Victor Herbert. The great Victor Herbert. He was a big man with big ideas, a lover of the good things of life, a connoisseur of the best, who gave to the world what was given him. He was born in 1859 in Dublin.
And what's the news, my son? Tell me, quickly.
Dad, it's a son. I'm a father.
Faith, and if you're a father, I'm a grandfather.
Yes, Dad. And he's a broth of a boy.
But of course he is. And why shouldn't he be? He comes from grand stock. And mark my words, son. Someday, he'll be a famous man.
And how right was his grandfather? For he was Samuel Lover, the noted Irish novelist, painter, and composer of such folk songs as Rory O'More and the Low-Back Car. His prediction was to be proved 100% right when, many years later, he wrote the successful musical comedy The Fortune Teller, from which came such a song as the Gypsy Slumber Song. But what happened to young Victor before he made the grade? Well, He commenced his musical studies in Dublin, and at an early age became somewhat of a child prodigy. Later, when a young man, he said to his father,
Father, I've been thinking of my future, and I feel that the best place to further my musical studies would be Germany.
Germany? And Faith, what would you be wanting to do over there? Why, you're the best cellist in all Ireland.
Maybe I am, Father, but I'm not good enough. I've got to improve. And the best way to learn is the hard way, under the finest continental conductors.
Ah, well, your grandfather said you'd always be a great musician. If studying Germany means it will help, Germany it is.
And that's where Victor Herbert eventually became one of the finest cello players on the continent. At different times, as first cellist to the Stuttgart Court Opera, he played under the batons of Brahms and Liszt, all the time learning all phases of music. At the age of 27, he fell in love with a beautiful continental singer named Theresa Forster. It was love at first sight, a real and enduring love of unselfish devotion. To illustrate.
Fräulein Forster, you are Theresa Forster.
That is so, but I...
No, you don't know me. I know you. I've heard you sing. You have a beautiful voice. So good that I would like to offer you a contract to come to New York and sing at the Metropolitan Opera House.
The Metropolitan? Oh, that would be wonderful.
Then you accept?
Well, I hardly know what to say.
Oh, surely, Fräulein, you'd like to sing at the Metropolitan. It's an opportunity that comes to few.
Oh, yes, I do want to sing there, but...
What is it?
Well, you see, I am engaged to be married.
Ah, an affair of the heart. Well, surely that can wait.
No, it cannot wait. I will not accept an engagement unless my fiancé goes with me.
And that's how it came about that Victor Herbert found himself in New York. His fiancée Theresa would not go without him. And so he was offered an orchestral engagement at the Met also. And it was not so very long after this that the world was to hear some of his immortal melodies. Such a song was Kiss Me Again.
Sweet summer breeze, whispering trees, stars shining softly above, roses in bloom, wafting perfume, sleepy birds dreaming of love. Safe in your arms, far from alarms, daylight shall come, but in vain. Tenderly pressed to your breast, kiss me again. Relief from toil and labor that fills the ground and air. Sweet summer breeze, whispering trees, stars shining softly above, roses in bloom, wafted perfume, sleepy birds dreaming of love. Safe in your arms, far from alarms, daylight
that time onwards, Victor's life was a success story. He became one of the most dynamic forces in America. And what's more, his influence still remains to this very moment. His devoted wife, Teresa, said to him not so very long after they were in New York,
Victor, the Met has offered me an extension of my contract.
And why shouldn't they, me darling? Haven't you got one of the loveliest voices in the country?
No, Blarney, dear, because I'm not going to accept.
And why not? A further contract at the Met? What's wrong with you, my sweet?
It's this way, dear. You are now making your mark in the field of composition. I feel, in fact, I know you will be successful. There can't be two successful artists in one family, so from now on, instead of Victor Herbert being known as Teresa Forster's husband, Teresa Forster is going to be Mrs. Victor Herbert, a wife and housefrau to a great composer.
Oh, me darling.
and from that moment onwards, Teresa gave up her career to help that of her beloved husbands. And Victor didn't let her down, for within a few short years, he was to become the Dean of American music. It was in 1910 that the world heard the premiere of one of his most successful operettas, the enchanting Naughty Marietta, one of his finest scores, which included, among many other hits, Our Sweet Mystery of Life.
Ah, sweet mystery of life, at last I found thee. I know at last the secret of it all the longing, seeking, striving, waiting, yearning, my burning hopes, the joy and idle tears that fall. For 'tis love and love alone the world is seeking, and 'tis love and love alone that can repay. 'Tis the answer, 'tis the end, and all of living, for it is love alone that rose
As we meander through Victor Herbert's life story, it's as well to remember that success didn't come easily to him. Like most other great composers, he had to work for it. And he had his share of flops also. In fact, his very first operetta, Prince Ananias, was a dismal failure. His first success came with The Fortune Teller, written in the year 1900. In fact, for a while, Herbert found the going fairly hard. But during this period, he was to get a lucky but deserved break.
Victor,
Yes, darling. What is it?
you have a visitor.
Oh,
Now, don't panic. I told him you were in the throes of composition, but he said it was important. Most important. You must see him.
Well, if you say so, my dear.
Mr. Herbert,
Yes, Mr.
accept my card, please. You'll see I'm from Pittsburgh.
And what do you want of me?
Well, frankly, Mr. Herbert, I want to offer you an engagement. I saw you conducting recently, and you greatly impressed me.
Thank you.
I understand that you've played in some of the greatest of European orchestras,
That's correct.
and under some of the world's greatest maestros.
Oh, yes. Franz Liszt and Johann Brahms were two of them, and there were many others.
Well, we knew that, Mr. Herbert. As a matter of fact, we've made a pretty close study of your capabilities. That is why I want to know if you would accept conductorship of the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra.
You offer me the post of becoming conductor of the Pittsburgh Symphony?
I do. What do you say?
What do I say to a heaven-sent opportunity like that? Why, I accept, of course.
And for 6 years, Victor Herbert reigned supreme as maestro of that famous orchestra. But meanwhile, of course, he still worked at his great love, composition. And he gave us many more grand melodies. Such a one was, I'm Falling in Love with Someone.
I've a very strange feeling I never felt before. 'Tis a kind of a grind of depression. My heart's acting strangely, it feels rather sore. At least it gives me that impression. My pulses beat madly without any cause. Believe me, I'm telling you truly. I'm gay without pause, then sad without cause. My spirits are truly unruly. For I'm falling in love with someone, my dear heart is falling in love with someone, ne'er to part. Yes, I'm falling in love with someone, plain to see. I'm sure I could love someone. If someone Yes, I'm falling in love with someone, plain to see. I'm sure I could love someone. If someone
The Irish-born, continental-educated Herbert was a true bohemian. He loved life, enjoyed it to the full. What's more, he permeated good comradeship and was almost reverenced by his fellow musicians. On one occasion, his birthday, at his home in New York, he was standing at his desk writing. By the way, he invariably wrote his compositions straight onto manuscript, never working at the piano.
Teresa! Teresa!
Yes, dear, what is it?
What's that confounded band doing in the street?
I'm sure I don't know. I'll open the window and see. Victor! It's the boys from your orchestra. They're serenading you with one of your
ears for? Let me see them.
Good morning, Maestro. Happy birthday! A happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Victor! Happy birthday to you!
And believe me, that little compliment was repeated to Victor Herbert for quite a few years. Each year, on his birthday, he was serenaded with his own melodies. A charming gesture which showed the great esteem he was held in by his fellow musicians. Meanwhile, he still wrote operetta, and with it, glorious songs. One which he wrote many years ago was revived some 12 years ago. Maybe you recall it. Here it is.
That comes after June time's laughter. You see so many dreams that don't come true. Dreams we fashioned when summertime was new. You are here to watch over some heart that is broken by a word that somebody left unspoken. You're the ghost of a romance in June, going astray, fading too soon. That's why I say farewell to you, Indian summer.
Victor Herbert's triumphant career ended on the 27th of March, 1926. But he still lives among us. His melodies are as lasting as time. Hardly a solitary day goes by without a Victor Herbert memory coming over the air. And the present generation knows them just as well as generations now gone. He was the founder, in 1914, of the American Society of Authors and Composers, and was their first president. The world owes a debt to Victor Herbert and to his adored wife, who forsook a great career to make a greater one. And so we reach the finale of the Herbert saga. And what better memory could we close on than a reprise of his glorious waltz, Just a Kiss in the Dark. And so we bring to a close another episode in the life story of a composer who had a song in his heart. The artists who reenacted the events in the times of Victor Herbert were Patricia Kennedy, Stuart Ginn, Walter Pym, George Randall, Kathleen Goodall, Eric Mitchelson and Alan Eddy, Eula Parker and her Parkettes, and Horrid Argy's Quartet. Your narrator was John Morgan. Orchestra and chorus were under the baton of William Flynn. With a Song in My Heart was produced by Alfred Potter and scripted and directed by Jack O'Hagan.